Hello, this is Crafty Andy and welcome to my home. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about this scarf that I made, and I will teach you how to do the Estonian cast on or knit cast on. Sometimes so this scarf, it doesn't have an edge at all, but the edge that it comes with. And what I do sometimes is I allow, when I cast on, the length of the scarf like 2 or 3 times, so that when I finish and I'm ready to block it, that I'm able to weave that back and forth. And while it's wet, I do rub it if it's wool, and it works with wool very well, and that fuses the wool within the edge of the fabric. So I will be teaching you as well how to do the bind off that I did on this scarf, which is a little bit of a stretchy bind off, and we'll be ready for that in a few seconds. Okay, so right here I'm going to teach you how to do the Estonian cast on, or the lace cast on, or the knit cast on, what I call it. It's very useful when you're doing lace projects, and you will see that sometimes what I do is the tail of my yarn is about 2 or 3 times the width of the scarf or item that I'm making, just in case I don't want to do any kind of border, and I just want to weave the ends at the end and at the other end without having to worry about anything else. So the first thing that you do when you're doing the Estonian cast on, and I learned this from Nancy Bush, is you do a slip knot, and you kind of like have it tight, but you have to allow it to have a little bit of a give, because you're going to be putting the other needle through. And if you're a thrower, you're going to wrap the yarn around, pull through, then when you're coming to this end, you're going to mount the stitch from behind. Why? Because this is going to make the stitch mount itself on the right way. Otherwise your stitches will be mounted in a reverse position and they will be twisted, and unless you want to do that, that's why you have to do it this way. So you will create some kind of tension, so the best thing to do about this cast on is to practice. See, I have already 4 stitches, and I'm going to continue on, and I hope that this is enough for you to see. And you kind of like create this really nicely formed edge, and it does depend on how you actually do the tension. All cast-ons are not without minding your tension, so this will create some kind of gauge. It's kind of like the nicest choice for this kind of work, and when I come back I will be showing you how to bind off the way that I bind off for lace projects. So now, after we're done 3 or 4 garter stitch rows back and forth, we're going to do the bind off. And the bind off that I'm going to show you is knit 2 together through the back loop. This usually gives you a very stretchy bind off. So you knit the first stitch and you take it off the needle, you knit the second stitch and you take it off the needle. You now get those 2 stitches back there, and you see what I'm doing is you're going to knit them through the back loop and get them out or off the needle. You will always be making another You have one stitch in the needle, you knit one off there, the other needle, you put them in here and knit through the back loop. And I have found out that this is a very stretchy kind of bind off. And you also will have to be mindful of your tension, because this also creates, you may have something very loose or you may have something very tight. And what you want to do is you want to match your bind off with your cast on. And this is all I have for you today. I hope that he works for you. This is Crafty Andy. Thank you for allowing me in your home.